This is how he gets down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Coach and Company podcast. It supports our national morning show every single weekday. Easiest thing to do is subscribe to our Coach and Company YouTube page. We also have a second show there called Weekday Wagers. Turn on those notifications, and every single time we start a show, you will be notified. If you missed the morning show, you missed Soupy twerking. That should be enough right there. But also, Coach and Bro, our stadium recording, 11 p.m. Eastern time every single Wednesday night. You can catch that already on demand on our BTT YouTube pages. We have two different pages. I encourage you to subscribe to both. Now, we've added another show to our plate every single weekday, Channel 156, the all-new Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. Off the Ropes is the name of my show. Part of a full day lineup that is absolute fire, and I am thrilled to be a part of it. Now, why do we do this podcast every single day? Well, we're more than just a sports betting brand. We love to talk further into topics, and also we never go longer than 20 or 30 minutes because I personally believe that even though we were one of the best sports betting shows in America, there's so much more to being a sports fan than just the betting aspect, and we love to tackle all of those things. Now, right now, it may feel like the dog days of summer. It is July 8th, 2025, and right now it feels like the only things going on are pro wrestling, which we have two shows out of BTT Studios, so we're heavy into the pro wrestling business, and soccer. And these top shelf soccer players, man, they never get any time off. No real time off. They've got all these cups, gold cups, and FIFA Club World Cups, and then their league starts at the end of August, so in another month. So if you're a soccer player, top shelf year-round, you are earning that money. That is for sure. But I will tell you this, that the NFL is always front page news. The NFL is always topical. You can always come up with a way to discuss it. But it seems like right now the NBA is trying and possibly succeeding with becoming front page news all year round. Unfortunately, we found out on Monday what we all feared, and that is one of the most fun players to watch in the league and a guy that defied the odds, that other players voted as the most overrated player in the entire NBA. And of course, I'm talking about Tyrese Halliburton. And we find out on Monday that he will indeed, because of that torn Achilles, miss the entirety of next season. Devastating. The timing of this injury was so devastating because they had a chance to win. It would have been so much easier to take if they would have won Game 7 and won the NBA championship. Then he'd be like, well, I tore it and I still won the chip. Imagine the mental, torture that he's going through right now as a competitor who probably feels like he let his team down. He didn't, but he probably feels that way. And so on top of feeling that way, because of the nature of the injury, he's going to be out a full 12 months, which takes him all the way through next season. I fear that Jason Tatum of the Celtics is going to go through the exact same thing because he had the exact same injury just earlier in the playoffs. And as an NBA fan and a sports fan and as a former college basketball player myself, the game is better when the stars play. And the teams will tell you that. You may have a player on a team that all of a sudden becomes a betting favorite, like the Knicks. But I am quite sure that Jalen Brunson will tell you he would rather win playing against Jason Tatum and the Celtics. Not the Celtics without Jason Tatum. Players want to play against the best. A lot of these guys are already making $20, $30, $40 million. So the money is what it is. But as a competitor and as an athlete who wants to show how good they are, you got to have these top flight players playing. The third big name that right now is being thrown out there as far as will he be able to come back or come back at 100%, that is Kyrie Irving. Now, he tore his ACL much earlier in the season. So he's scheduled to come back end of January, maybe the beginning of February. And that would certainly give him enough time to get back into NBA shape, play with Cooper Flagg, hopefully a healthy Anthony Davis. And I think the Mavs could be a really, really good team next year. I really do. But it's devastating. And this is why this was our first topic today, because I think the more that happens and the more trades that are made and the more players that are signed, I really believe a lot of this is just window dressing for what could be one of the biggest trades in the history of the NBA. Rich Paul, LeBron James' agent, said when he opted into his $53 million player option that LeBron wants to play for a winner. LeBron has maybe one, maybe two seasons left. He's over 40 years of age. He's in uncharted territory. So he cannot afford, if you're LeBron James, to have the mindset of, yeah, I have a Lakers jersey on, so I'll skate through this season. We'll be a playoff team, 5, 6 seed. We'll have Luka. We'll have DeAndre Ayton. Maybe he can wake up. Or you opt in and you walk into Jeannie Buss, who's always seemed like a really thoughtful executive. And you can be a lot more thoughtful when you just made $10 billion. But Rich Paul and LeBron James could walk in and say, listen, this is my last season. Or I've got one or two left. And then I would like for you to trade me back to the Eastern Conference, where he spent the entirety of his NBA career before he came to LA. But I will say this, LA has become his home. Both of his boys have graduated from LA high schools. Bronny is now with the Lakers. His younger son signed to play at Arizona, which is only about a 45-minute private jet ride from Los Angeles. So for him to demand to play in New York, that would throw off a lot of things personally with the family. And I know mom, the wife, likes to go to a lot of these games. That would take LeBron all the way away from the family. I would assume she would stay in Los Angeles. I don't think this is pie in the sky, guys. I really, really don't. I think this is a very, very real possibility. Think about it from LeBron James' perspective. He does not have 3-4 years left. At the end of the playoffs last year against Minnesota, he looked every bit of his age. Many, many times he couldn't get up and down. He wouldn't get back on defense to save his legs just a little bit. In the playoffs, that is unacceptable. But he's over 40 years of age. So you got to cut him some slack somewhere so you can get him on the defensive end when you're in a set, or you need him on the offensive end for him to score points. I really believe that somehow he gets traded to the Knicks. I really, really, really believe that. Shout out to Paulo Banchero. One of the changes that the NBA has made the last several years is putting in these super max deals and the different max deals that players can get, especially if they stick with one team for a really, really long time. So Banchero is signing a rookie max deal, which is different than a super max deal, but it's still $239 million for 5 years. So he's making north of $40 million a year. The extension could reach up to $287 million if certain triggers are hit. He can make more money if he becomes an all NBA player on any of the all NBA teams, MVP, defensive player of the year. There's a lot of different things that if he wins it will add money to that contract. Bottom line is that this kid is super young, and now he is one of the rare players that gets these max deals. So we're talking 439 doing so that's almost $48 million a year he's going to make for a guy that has never been deep into the playoffs. But that's the new NBA. That's the NBA that WNBA players need to start to recognize, that they get a percentage of their TV deals. And now that Amazon is a player in the NBA TV deals, all of a sudden the money just skyrocketed. That's why TNT lost the NBA, because Amazon just bid too much. And then ESPN, they had to match it for their part of it. Then you got NBC jacking it up as well. They're going to get back into the NBA game. There's a lot of falling pieces, and it's all good for the players. The players are absolutely ecstatic about this bidding war for the next 10 years of their league. A couple other topics I mentioned. I believe that LeBron James will get traded. There's one other reason. The New York Knicks announced Mike Brown yesterday to the media, to the fan base in New York City. Leon Rose, their GM, said that he brings a championship pedigree to New York. I love Mike Brown. Worked with him at ESPN. I'm pulling my best Stephen A right now, by the way, where I butter him up just to bring the hammer down. And I would tell you that Mike Brown is probably the most self-aware former coach that I've ever worked with. And that even he would tell you that he's not a marquee name because Mike Brown is just a very simple male name. But in the world of the NBA, he has a lot of respect. And I think the Knicks are willing to gamble. And what's crazy to me is they're gambling on a player who is north of 40 because LeBron James has a lot of respect. Now, behind closed doors, would this be his number one choice to go play for in New York? I don't know that. But I know he coached him in LA as an assistant. He's also coached in Cleveland before, which LeBron has a big history in. So there's a lot of similarities between Mike Brown and LeBron James. And we know LeBron James is a student of the game. So we're going to see if this is the right move for the Knicks. Let's not forget, they were all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. If not for a big collapse in game number 1, there's a very good chance they may have won the Eastern Conference Finals. So this fan base, which hadn't been here in a quarter century, they understand that this is their time. They have the talent to do it. Is Mike Brown the guy? You are watching and or listening to the Coaching Company podcast. We add this to the morning show every single day. It's never just about sports betting. We like to dive into topics because it's fun, and we all love sports, and you guys love sports. That's why you come here. So thank you very much. And we never go past 20 or 30 minutes on any one of these shows. The NFL is less than 2 months away. Early start this year. Thursday, September 4th. Will be the first game. And per the usual, the defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, will be hosting that first game. So there's always NFL stories. There's always NFL things that are going on. And if you're making news in July and you're an NFL player, it's probably not for a good reason. Let's be honest. Turpin, the all-pro punt returner for the Dallas Cowboys, gets pulled over. Weed, guns. Why? Kirk Cousins, who was as lucky a player as you can get, that after a torn Achilles, I believe that was the injury, the Atlanta Falcons blessed him with a contract that was worth at least $100 million guaranteed. At least. And then it was probably going to be, I mean, that's just in guarantees. The whole contract's like 170, 180. He came out yesterday and said that he was misled by the Atlanta Falcons when they drafted Michael Penix from Washington. It's an interesting quote, as he said he felt a little bit misled when they took Penix that high after signing him to a guarantee of $100 million, tabbing him as their quarterback for 2024 and beyond. Atlanta then stunned the NFL and Cousins by drafting Penix because the franchise believed in him as a future quarterback. Understand this. If you are a quarterback in the league and you are guaranteed over $100 million and you are over 35 years of age, just say thank you and be on your way. If you do not have two legit quarterbacks as an NFL team in 2025, you are an absolute moron as a general manager. There are backup quarterbacks making north of $5 million a year because they are that important. One play, and the rest of your season can be over. And you got 50 some other dudes that are like, wait a second, I've been busting my ass, and we didn't have somebody that could throw the football sitting behind this guy? That is bad drafting. That is bad team management. You have to. So if you get a chance to grab Michael Penix at number 8, you grab him. Now, they should be mad at themselves for giving Kirk Cousins that much money. My God. But that's the supply, very little, and the demand, very high. So if you're one of the lucky ones that can get into a spot where you're a free agent and there are a few spots around the NFL, you can be like Kirk Cousins, who's already made a ton of money, but who's not going to take 4 years, $170, 4 years, $180, over 100 million guaranteed. Who's not going to do that? Now, we mentioned it this morning on the morning show, and I want to hit on it here because I feel like I was cool shaming or bachelorette party shaming or bachelor party shaming by pointing out Patrick Mahomes and his outfit at a recent birthday party in Miami. Understand this, just like in the immortal words of Terrell Owens, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. And understand that wherever Patrick Mahomes goes, all Chiefs fans like myself will follow. But you have a responsibility. When you go out in public and you are making north of $70 to $80 million a year combined between salary and endorsements, you have a responsibility to look fly, to look the part. Even the flip-flops have got to be top shelf. But what did he do? He went with the theme of the birthday, which was a 30th birthday party. They were all wearing 1995 hats. Then you see a picture with just the ladies and the 1995 hats. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Patrick cannot be a part of this. Not when there's ladies only, men's only, then combo on the boat, yacht only. What are we doing? I draw the line with the cool factor. Now, I understand that living in Kansas City, away from the limelight, he loves the fact that he's unbothered. He bought a gigantic plot of land, and he lives all the way out by himself. Just had his house burglarized, though, because it's become a rash, just like Joe Burrow just had his house burglarized as well. It's becoming a big thing. Stop it. Just stop with the nonsense and the burglary. I don't know how they're doing it. I know it's technology, but if I'm a top shelf quarterback, guess what? They always say don't keep the jewelry in the house. Well, they will tell you, well, what's the point if I can't wear it? I would just forego the jewelry. That's if I was a super multimillionaire athlete, I just wouldn't. If I needed something to wear to a red carpet or a movie premiere, I'd just go borrow it from some jewelry store and then take it back. To me, it's not worth, even with the security systems that you have, especially out here on the West Coast, where fires and all these kinds of things, people break in all the time. It sucks. All right, let's set the stage for the rest of the week. Do not forget, we have a brand new daily show on SiriusXM, channel 156. It's called Off the Ropes, 2 to 4 Eastern time, part of the lineup there. Today, I believe Tommy Dreamer will be my co-host. Then Coach and Bro already recorded for Wednesday night on Stadium at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Another live recording on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Weekday wagers on this YouTube channel today and every day at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We have a lot of content. Easiest thing to do, subscribe, turn on your notifications, make yourself a smarter sports fan. And we just like to have fun. We're very chill. You can put us on in the background at work and just have us throughout your day. All right, that's going to do it for now. For producer man behind the scenes, I am the coach. We will see you tomorrow. There is only one Coach and Company, the podcast.